What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Hit the like, sub, comment, notifications. You know the deal, you know the drill. Look, this is Polo Motivation, and I'm going to tell you, man, you cannot rest in your success. You cannot rest in your success. I've said it time and time again. There's so many of y'all that sit up here and you think that you're not as good as your last, whatever it is. I don't care whatever it is. If it's something that you are involved in, and you think you great and you think that you ain't got to work no hard, hey, ladies and gentlemen, you in for a rude awakening. And sometimes, man, you do need to fall down in order to understand that. Listen, I'm cut differently, man. I don't know what else I could say about that. I'm just cut differently. I'm cut from a different cloth, man. You know, I was built different. It's not in my DNA to give it a rest or to slow down or to say, okay, yeah, take a pat on the back and just settle down. No, that's not my mentality at all. The greats that are successful and are at the pinnacle or that are at the top, they never give it a rest. They still going hard. They still trying to accomplish. They still not willing to, back down. They don't care what age it is. They don't care what people tell them. They already know that the negative is gonna come. They already know that, people are gonna say what they say because when greatness blossoms, they'll do anything to destroy it. You know, when greatness blossoms, they'll do anything to destroy it. I'm gonna say that one more time. When greatness blossoms, they will do anything to destroy it. People will do anything in their power to destroy you. Okay. But see, that's when you got to rise above that, man. I'm from a concrete jungle. No love being shown. Absolutely none of that. Rarely got love being shown. So I'm so used to not the love not being shown. I'm so used to not getting any type of recognition. I'm so used to not being paid homage to when I was on the come up and everything. You know, and that's got to be your mentality. You got to just take it with the grain of salt. Hey, they love you. Now get back to work. Whole hood love you. Hey, all right, go ahead, get back to work. It reminds me of guys, man, that was really out there doing it, really out there, really pounding the pavement, really out there working, really out there doing everything that was necessary. What's up with it, Kenyon Perry? I see you in the berry doing everything that they could to grind and hustle. And guess what? You didn't see them at parties. You didn't see them at the club. You didn't see them at large gatherings. You know what they were doing? They were while everybody else was partying, while everybody else was taking downtime. Guess what? They was out there in the lab. Like when you have a craft. When I don't care what sport it is, if you're trying to play a different sport or whatnot, you can't rest in your success at all because it's always somebody that's trying to take what you got. They trying to get at that level. They trying to get in that spot if you are number one, especially if you are number one. It's some people that don't care about being a number one. There's a lot of people out here that don't care about being a number one. But if you at that number one spot, you better believe that it doesn't get any harder. See, we work that much harder to get in that number one spot. And then when you get in that number one spot, then the criticism comes. And then all the pats on the back come. And guess what? You're unable to handle it. You're not mentally strong or mentally capable to handle either one. You got to be mentally strong to handle the negative and the positive that comes with it. Everybody just thinks that when you get to the top or when you get successful or when you know at that top of the mountain, They think it's, oh, it's smooth sailing. No, it's not. It's not smooth sailing. And matter of fact, that's when you should be even working hard because listen, when it's lonely at the top, you got to wonder if there's somebody, if you got a target on your back, which you do. You're gonna have a target on your back. When you have targets on your back, that's when you know you're doing something right. If you don't have no targets on your back, then maybe you're not working hard enough. And some people see having targets on your back as a bad thing. No, you need to embrace that. When the haters come, when they're trolling you, when they're trying to destroy you, when they're trying to sabotage you and everything like that, that's when you know it's gonna come. That's when you know you're doing something great. But you can't let them knock you off, knock you off of what you do. And see, the thing about it is in a sport like wrestling, or whether it's real or fake, we talk about uh, the entertainment side of wrestling. The villain, he embraces people talking about him. He embraces people uh, booing him. He embraces people. He embraces being the villain, pretty much. The heel, so to speak. He embraces being the scum of the earth. Well, see, when you are successful and you are quote unquote the hero and everything, well, the thing that you cannot sit there and go to rest in is when somebody tell you, okay, yeah, man, you great, and they do everything to build you up because they're building you up for a reason. They're building you up to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? People are around you just to build you up and to hype you up just so that eventually they can destroy you. And you have to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter than that. A lot of people ain't smarter than that. A lot of people, they like, oh yeah, you know what? I ran 1 mile, I'm cool. Knowing damn well you got to run 3 miles. I'm cool. I'll be all right. I'll take a break and then take a break that next day. Meanwhile, you got somebody that only can run 3 miles, but guess what? He said, you know what? I ran 3 miles, but I'm gonna run 4 more, just so that I can be on top of that next guy that's trying to take over from me. And that's what you have to think. It's always somebody working harder. It's always somebody working smarter. It's always somebody that's strategizing. It's always somebody that's trying to get tactical. It's always some people out here that's going to manipulate you. It's always some people that's going to try to seduce you. It's always some people that are going to try to, bring the art of war to you. But you got to know how to conquer all of that. A lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people just sit back, kick their feet up. They figure their work is done. You think the greats are doing that? No. Do you think any of the greats were doing that? Do you think that any of the successful entrepreneurs were out there doing that? No, absolutely not. They weren't. They weren't giving it a rest. They weren't staying lazy. And that's all it is. It's just pure laziness sometimes. I mean, it's a humanistic attribute sometimes if you feeling good and you don't you don't achieve something that you worked so hard for. Now you feel like, man, shoot, I deserve a break. But see, that's your mind. That's a mind thing. That's a mind thing. That's all mental. And you cannot let that happen to you. Because the moment you do, guess what? Somebody gonna take it. And they gonna take it in a heartbeat. It ain't gonna take but a second. They be like, oh, you know what? That person resting, guess what? I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it because he's not on his shit. I'm gonna get on it because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I'm gonna get on it because man, he's not out there grinding like he should be, like we expected him to. And some of those people that are rooting against you, they have expectations for you, whether it's negative expectations, whether it's positive expectations. Shoot, they want you to meet those expectations. But you have to have your own expectation, and your expectation cannot be any type of failure. You cannot expect any type of failure. Failure is no option. I told you that. And you got to look at it like this. If you sit up there and rest in your success, and you sit up there and be only as good as your last, guess what? Guess what? You have failed, my man. You have failed. You have failed, my queen. You have failed. You have failed. You're not trying to evolve. You're saying, okay, look, I'm gonna be just straight smooth sailing from here on out. I'm gonna be on cruise control. Cruise control is all right in terms of you having poise. Cruise control is all right in terms of you having composure, but you cannot be in cruise control in terms of your grind. Now, look, I understand that everybody works at their own pace. That's fine, but don't give it no rest. Don't sit up there and rest in your success. Don't sit up there and say, okay, my work is finished. I don't need to work no hard. No, you still got work to do. You still got work to do. There's always something that can be done. It's always This world is constantly moving. This world is constantly growing. This world is constantly evolving. It should make you so sick to the point where you want to throw up if you even feel that way. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. You know, yes, will it take a minute for you to get out of that lazy way, even if you got to force yourself? Because getting up is actually the easiest part. It's actually staying where you at. And what I mean by that is, like, you take a break. It's like, man, and some people think that the hardest part is getting right back into it. No, that's the easiest part. But the the hardest part is actually you staying consistent. You have to stay consistent. That's why a lot of people fail at what they do and they never get to where they're going, or they never try to evolve in anything. They're just steadily doing all that talking. Steadily doing all that talking, but they ain't doing no working. Steadily doing all that talking, but ain't doing no walking. You know? Don't rest in your success. You only as good as your last craft. I'ma holler at y'all.